One Piece chapter 1157 came out still with a lot more informations than answers, and I'm here to talk about them because from the first page we get back on the rocks and we see what they are up to and what they were doing back in the day. And from here, we get to see that in this country, in this new country, we have a nice shot of the Rocks pirates actually going around destroying everything and grabbing all the treasure that they can grab. And they are saying to the king that he actually shouldn't even have that money because he basically is saving all of that money for him. And if he's actually saying that he's giving that money towards the people of his country or whatever, then it's not the case because the treasure is basically in there in him with him, and so that's why they ripped him off. They took all of the money. And at the same time, we see that Ochuku is talking to Shiki, telling him, lower the lift, we're still underground. And Shiki is like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about them. And as he's thinking about that, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it now. But then as soon as you jump to the next page, that's where you see one of the most legendary pages ever, because I was thinking that Newgate did not have his devil fruit power back in the day already. But he totally did, because we see basically the whole island getting transformed, and basically you understand that it's just the same thing that happened to Marineford back in the day when Newgate was there, and he basically, used his power just like this to kind of basically destroy everything. Same power. Newgate was pissed and he destroyed the whole island from what you see. And he did not care about it. He did not care about his crewmates or whatever. He did not care about whoever was in there. He just basically was trying to help by doing that. So you could see at the same time. Oh, and in here, Shiki was also like, yeah, thank goodness you survived. I was worried about you, because he tried also in a way to kill his crewmates because he didn't care about what he was doing. He was just going to send the help that he thought was going to help them, but at the same time he didn't see how much damage he was going to do. And he, from the looks of it, from Shiki's look, he's like, I didn't know you were going to survive, so you get to see how sneaky he is and all of that. But moving on from there, because Rox is like, yeah, it's time to go. And the Navy is literally right there. But as soon as they turn and they see the Navy, they see that the Navy is actually not that far from them. So they're like, yeah, it's not time to flee right now. It's time for war. Time to go and crush them, And so from there, jumping up to the other to another page, you get to see all of the crimes of the Rocks, and that is also going to be one of the subjects of my next videos. So tune in for that video where I'm going to be talking about all of the crimes of the Rocks. But in here you get, in a mere 2 years since their formation, the record of the Rocks crew spoke for itself. 16 documented raids, 76 sunken ships, 14 ports reduced to ash, 5 towns wiped off the map, 1 nation brought to ruin, 3 unprecedented violations of Article 18 of international law, and 25 criminal records quietly erased. Even with the future pirate Goldie Roger sailing the seas, it would not be an overstatement to refer to this period as the era of rocks. And basically you understand that when the government was saying, yeah, basically rocks were a terror to the world government and all of that, yeah, you understand that they pretty much were, because of all the crimes they committed. In 2 years, they basically destroyed everything that they would encounter. Basically, everybody that would show up to Rocks, you were gonna get messed up. And in here, next page, we jump into Enichi in the New World, so a new island. And we understand that in Enichi, the people are transformed into slaves, basically, and there is a member of a CP, I believe, that's trying to control everything that's going on. Because in here you have King Harold that came back to check up on the people of this island, because we discover that on this island, those people are the people who actually helped King Harold when Elbaf was going on through their famine and all of that. So when they needed food, these people were actually sending food towards Elbaf. And now that those people are becoming kind of slaves and they don't have food and all of that, King Harold is actually coming in to help, and he's telling the world government people like, hey, why can't you just do peace, and instead of doing all of this, we actually just help each other, and all of us is doing better, you know? Because he's here, he's like, that's messed up. The world government can't just decree everything like that. Let them go. This country gave aid to Elbaf during our famine out of the kindness of their hearts. They are our friends and saviors. But the CP guy, he's basically looking at Harold and he's like, stay away out of this. This does not concern you. And as he does that, basically he's got a gun right here and he shoots a woman right there in the head. Basically, like, King Harold, that's it. He could not take it anymore. And he told him that if you actually go against us or whatever, it will influence the way of how Elbaf is gonna get into the world government or something, like get into the world affiliated countries or something like that. So if he did anything, it would go against that. And he didn't care. He jumped to basically save his friends and his people at that point, because he cannot stand to see them like that. Also in here, they say that in the World Economic Journal headlines, what came out in their news, King Harold exposed. Elbaf's monarch sinks innocent battleship. Alliance with government revealed as a ploy. So the whole thing, basically they are making it into the giants looking like they are the devils and the worst kind of people around, you know. But then we move on to Ida's tavern in Elbaf, and for Ida we get to see actually King Harold, and I'm probably guessing like years after, and he is with the rocks and they are talking, saying that the sooner or later Elbaf will become a member nation of the world government. But then Rox is like, no, there's no way that you guys are going to be joining, because look at what they did, look at what they're doing, and look at what's going on in the world right now. Like, it's not right. But Harold believes in the goodness of the Marines, you know, because the Marines are something you should have in the world, because just like you have bad people doing bad stuff, you need the Marines to go and help out to fight those people, you know? So yes, he's thinking, yeah, we should send off more giants towards the Marines so that they can get in the ranks and we can be with the humans and we can help the humans and all of that. So he's got basically a good view of how you should be able to help one another in a way more than what the world government is doing, you know. And as King Harold is telling him, yeah, they could use their boundless strength to really make a difference for people everywhere. Rox is like, yeah, that is terrifying, because he understands that if he gives out the power of the giants is so easily to basically the Marines and the world government and him, in a way, it's pretty terrifying when you think about it. From there, you also, next page, you move on to the Navy HQ, where you get to see some pretty legendary characters talking about what's going on in the world. And basically we get the Vice Admiral Garp, the Vice Admiral Sengoku, and Vice Admiral Otsuru that are talking to the Admiral Kong. So we understand all of their ranks back in the day already, and we understand that Kong was already an admiral back in the day, so he was pretty freaking strong already. And they are talking about whatever is going on with the giants and them probably coming in the Navy and helping out and everything. And as Garp and Sengoku and Otsuru here, they all kind of have a different perspective on the on what's going on. But hey, they all just say that it should be done. They should be joining and helping out the nations to defend against all evils in a way, which I totally approve of, you know. But then 42 years ago, back in Hachinosu, we get some big news, because this news is about the captain of the Kuja pirates, or should I say the ex-captain by this point, because we actually get Shaki that came to the Hachinosu pirates a long time ago in here, and all she wants to do, basically from what we can see, is actually settle down on the pirates island, and she quit the Kuja pirates. We don't know for what purpose, and we don't know for what purpose she gets in here, but all she wants to do is open up her own bar or whatever, and stay in there for a little while. And she knows that everybody is a pirate over there. She says to everybody, hey, are you guys gonna protect me? And everybody is just falling in love with how beautiful Shaki was back in the day. Basically everybody, as soon as she walks in here, yeah, I probably need a business. Oh, we'll do it for you, Shaki. I probably need this. What I will do it for you too. Like everybody was falling on her charm, you know. And she says, "No, I just want to live here for a while." And jumping up from that page, we get to see that the rocks is also coming towards the island. And the rocks is like, what the hell is going on? What's all of this people going crazy and all of that? Like, what is it? And as soon as he walks in towards the island a little bit more, he sees that there was a bar, and the bar is called the Shaki Ripoff Bar had finally opened. I love the fucking name. But Shaki opened up her bar, and she basically is literally just wearing an apron on top of, basically from what I can see, nothing. She's literally wearing nothing underneath that apron, and it's kind of weird, but hey, at least she's doing her job correctly, because as soon as all of the rocks showed up, all of them fell in love with how beautiful she was. Basically, Shaki was, maybe what I'm saying here is that Shaki is the treasure, the actual treasure of Hachinosu. That's what I'm thinking. Because right after this, in here, it's saying that Shakuyaku was like a flower blooming in dry wasteland. Her very presence enriched this island. So I see it as something very primordial, like a treasure to absolutely keep in that place. So if, for example, hear me out, my theory, if, for example, some God's Knights came and kidnapped her and took her away, everybody's gonna be pissed around Hachinosu, and specifically the rocks, since we can see that they absolutely fell in love with how beautiful she was too. So if she gets kidnapped, oh, rocks will totally go and get her back. And in here it even says, the inhabitants of Hachinosu came to covet her as a treasure, an irreplaceable crown jewel. Unfortunately, a treasure is always the inevitable target of a theft. And as we see that, it jumps to the last pages of the chapter, and it says, in the room of authority in Orishiwa, somebody's talking and says, very well, relay this to Harold. We should accept Elbaf's admission into the world's government on one condition. The warriors of Elbaf must kill rocks. And that is pretty scary coming from them, because they know how close Rocks is with Harold, and they basically want Harold to get all of the giants and go basically kill Rocks. And that's the only way they can actually get into the world government and into one of those affiliated nations to all of the nations under the world government, which is absolutely crazy. And making it that way is basically just making the whole world government look kind of evil, to ask of King Harold that kind of thing to do in a way. Like, it's super evil from them. But hey, I did not expect nothing less out of the world government and the Gorosei and the Im, you know. They're basically the devils of the world of One Piece. So that's why I did not expect nothing less out of them. But from here, I can already tell that Shaki is probably the treasure of Hachinosu that got stolen, and that's why they had to go and get her back. And I'm thinking that it's probably not the other possibility that people are thinking, oh yeah, it's actually one of the two devil fruits that Rocks is looking for. I'm probably not guessing that it's gonna go that way, you know. So on that note, guys, let me know what you guys think of this chapter. Let me know what you guys think of any kind of theory you got. Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.